Good morning, everyone. And I just happened to see this video here on on the internet, and I just wanted to point out that this is similar to the idea that I thought of for the Faraday flashlight. Flashlight, flashlight, and the concept of how it can work um, with the concept of the coil magnet and that thing revolving. Well, it could be the magnet revolving north and south around the um, coil on a horizontal um, and in this case it's an axis. So see, so I'll take a picture of this real quick since I found it on here, and see how all this little wood, that's how simple it is to build. It's not oh, it's not it's not complicated at all. It'll really require more testing than anything. So basically, um, you have this thing that goes across, right? That this is considered the axis. I mean the axle. And usually that's how it is with an engine for a vehicle. And then this will be the bearing, and this bearing over here, because it has bearings. Then these little clamps on the wood are holding the bearings from going anywhere, and then it's holding the axle um, in place. So that's all it is. And then it allows this thing in the center to spin, you know. Um, so this here would be like the tire gripper on the ground in a way. So anyway, so if that's created, and then you have something like this, and it could be blue color. This is another one, and this is another one here. Now, oh yeah, and then this one over here will be a different color, red or something, just to point out the differences. And then, so this will be like positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, whatever, right? And um, then you also have, so that would be like inside here, and then this sandpaper type of concept will, you know how it goes around and around and around and around all the way across. It goes around, right? Like that. And then this can actually be an orange because that's how the coils are. like that. And then, um, so as it spins, you have um, this magnet and this, well, and this magnet and this magnet producing volts. And this could be 1 volt, or they could each produce a volt or something. I don't know, tests would have to be performed. But this is the general idea that I had to build this machine with electrical, by electrical, or through electrical means that's provided through the city. And it would have to just be tested. And I mean, this shaft could go, this centerpiece could go, the green little line here, it could go like far. It could go very, very far. Like it doesn't have to be just right here. I mean, it could go 10 feet out. As long as you have these bearings and stuff and something to hold it, it could go super, super far. And a lot of these things in sequence can be placed to produce energy. But anyway, I like this idea with um, how they actually did it. I had the concept. I just never actually took the time to build it and construct it. But this is a good way to do this idea, and for people that like to create windmills and other types of um, you know electrical generating uh, things. Even students um, can do this, um, especially or just in any um, degree. But yeah, this could be a testing ground for new research and development. And then obviously the engine, electrical engine, will get very, very hot, very, very warm over time. So well, I'm assuming that this will be a great way to stay warm, especially like in space or Mars, if they, really plan on going out there, because this thing will always be running and it's super, super cold out there. Now, the only problem with this thing here is that if we do it here on Earth, it could create a lot of global warming, like the vehicles are. Um, and it'll, like, if you have it like in Alaska, it'll start melting all the ice eventually, because it is going to require a lot of ice to cool it down to keep it running 24/7. Or it can be put on a timer. The timer can, go 12 hours on, 12 hours off, 6 hours on, 6 hours off, and so on, depending on, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. And you could have multiple units, multiple engines, so you could set each one differently and accordingly as you wish and plan. So that will be a way for you to prevent um, this thing from breaking or burning out. Um, but if there's already electricity there, then this thing can produce more energy. Therefore, it would need to be either stored or something, or it could it could do something um, immediately with it, or it could be, like I said, it could be stored for maybe more ampage, more gener to do an energy fuse of a concentrated power to use at one moment that might require a lot more electricity and power, obviously, to power a tool or do something. I don't know, depending on your device and your um, what you want to do with the energy that it produces, because all that varies. Um, and I'm thinking this unit can be placed in the, if it proves to be true and if it works, and it could be used like in the space station or somewhere outside of this world. Now, it can be placed in the ocean, but it's going to cause other problems as well, like in submarines and stuff like that, or other vessels. But it will still create problems because the engine's going to get super hot, and eventually what it will cause and do is it will warm up all the water, um, unless unless Mother Nature produces enough to um, balance all this stuff out. Then if that's the case, then there's no need to worry. But that was just my long-term theory on a potential problem for us, and where we could or might have overlooked, and then realized later on, like, oh dang, there's so many of these things, people are producing them, people are making them, whatever, etc. And that's why there's another video I created about something similar to this, where there could be laws and stuff like that that can come into effect um, if too much of this energy stuff is being produced, and it's no longer required, instead of, or just to provide for a single family and maybe their family's family. But because eventually it'll basically just be free energy being provided, and the companies like Edison and all these other companies will be paying for way more expensive tools and devices, um, in the electrical um, facilities that they have. So that's why, um, like, laws and stuff would have to be considered to, like, just to control that, and um, just give enough power to wherever it's required. Now this can be very dangerous. Um, this is like starting a whole different, topic in a way. It could be very dangerous because people can use electricity for many uh, there's many uses that it could be used for, and some people could use it for we just never know what they could use it for, but there's a lot of possibilities on what they can use it for. So that's why, and people that think about all this stuff, whether negative or positive, they understand completely what's going on. But it's not, I'm not going to worry about it, you know. But anyway, so let's assume that this thing is working. Look how fast, just look how fast it spins. You know, that could be running all day long. And this is my first time watching this video. Obviously, here in this video, he's teaching you how to build this this base to put this thing on. So, and I got interrupted with a commercial with the little monkey trying to eat some bees in the Amazon. But anyway, see, not only will me exposing this and talking about it give people ideas to try this and give people inspiration if it does work, and not just that, but it will encourage people to create a better unit and better maybe a housing unit, um, and it will. I'm hoping that it will inspire people to do more than just what I'm talking about. So advancing and perfecting it beyond this point would be awesome. See, so you have the thing here, and these are relatively affordable, and you could buy them used, and it doesn't have to look all nice and beautiful. It can it could be that could actually be closed off. It could be um, like in a box with a bunch of little holes in it. It doesn't have to be revealed. See, and it could be hidden. It could be there's a bunch of things that there's a bunch of housing things that people could think of. You know, so yeah. So anyway, I have another ad coming up. Skip this as soon as I can. So here it is. It's running. Now, what else? What else out there can do this on a large scale? There's vehicles. Um, there's two-wheel drives. This out here, it could be a car on on a on a I mean, it would have to be like a big electrical engine, obviously. But if you think about it, it could be like the tire spinning and with an axle all the way. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that this can be blown up on small scales and very, very large scales, depending on what type of resources you have, what type of equipment you have. Um, but this will be a great start. I will say this can this I would personally take it maybe 5 feet, 10 feet for testing, and obviously maybe putting one of these uh, blocks with a bearing maybe every foot or so, and that even that takes some math. You need a grid or something to make it straight, unless you build it on like a board, which will act like um, your motherboard in a way, but it won't be in a way. But anyway, and that will determine how much volts that it requires, how much volts it is producing, and then all this stuff, all this information can be documented for your own personal research and development, to perfect it. Just like Edison with the light bulb and all that stuff, he would write stuff down: what worked, what didn't work, what works better, what doesn't work better, all that stuff. What yeah, what fails and what doesn't fail, and the things that fail, how can they not fail, and what are different approaches or different um, you know possibilities if other things are done, and so on. There's a lot of experimentation that researchers can perform to make this into a very, very strong electrical generator through means of free energy, unless you want to do windmill energy without an actual engine, powered engine, um, but just the magnets in the coil in the center, the way that it will be built like this. So that thing that even the windmill will spin all day long, like a fan outside. Um, so see, a lot of these guys are doing the see. So there's a lot of ideas out there, that I'm just noticing, which is super, super cool. See, like this one is amazing. Simplest drum sander machine, DIY, perfect woodworking with tools. Um, Amazing woodworking techniques that have 90.5K subscribers. I just noticed this one as well, and it looks like people are using this for like to act as a sander base. So see, so what I'm talking about is not it's not really like a far-fetched idea. Um, it's fairly simple, and I believe that anyone could do it, and everyone should be able to do this especially if it works. So if it works, do it. Do it. Don't let no one stop you. Don't let no one stop you, because you know we have to do this if it does work, and all of us could get involved. See, so this is all I wanted to show right here. So basically, this is doing like an override on the trigger instead of doing it manually with your finger. Um, and then you could hire someone if you had the money to put this on a timely sequence, or make it even digital, and then you could have um, the heat sensors to reveal data, like if it's cold or hot, if it's getting too hot, shut it down. If it's cold, keep it running, etc., etc., etc. So there's a lot of things, and that those are just a few examples of some of the stuff that you can do. Um, but like I said, and then there's different machines as well, different engines and different speeds. So there's so much that that can be tested. And I mean, just go here, look for more DIY drill powered dish sander, or like this type of concept. Um, Look for more videos like this, and it'll inspire you even further to come up with more ideas. Um, 1 minute workbench. He has or she has 112K subscribers. No, 112. Yeah, K subscribers. Yeah. See, look at this one. This is another example here. Seeing he's building it right here. Now, like I shared before, it could be done. It could be done. Um, it could be done where this thing is spinning, and the magnets are like this, spinning. Um, like if they're clamped on the axis, when they spin, north and south will revolve, or it could be going in and out of a coil, like the Faraday flashlight, like this. The magnet will go through the coil to the opposite side, then through the coil again on the opposite side, and then that sequence can be repeated over and over and over and over and over to produce um, however much. I mean, however, I don't know, just to produce electricity, right? So this, I honestly, I thought about all this stuff because I was looking at like generators. I was doing research on um different engines, different just different things out there, you know. And I just this stuff just like came to my mind. It came to my mind, and I was just like thinking it through, and that's how I was able to. That's the way. I mean that's how I was able to think about this concept, this idea. I have others. Well, it'll just be tests. I have other tests that can be performed that might work more effectively. Um, and but I guess we could just start with this, and if it proves to work, Then we can move on to different tests. That will be super cool, and exciting for further research and development. Um, and and it will basically do the same thing and generate electricity. Um, and yeah, there's so many. I mean, just with this simple idea, like the Faraday flashlight, um, there's so many things that can be um, that can be tested, that can be done. Um, I, I guess I guess anyone could think about different ideas, especially if they have a general idea of how this stuff works. Um, but this is not to get rich. This is not a gold mine. This is not something that to take lightly. This is something for us, for each other as a human race, to provide each other or one another the the luxury of staying warm and um, giving each other light here in this world and stuff like that. You know, just like the cell phones, like Mark with Facebook.com, he um, his mission is to give people free cellular phones. Some people would say why. Some people, I don't know. There's different things that people could think of, but there's new breakthroughs, new technology with the even the light bulbs and their LEDs. They don't require a lot of um, power, electrical power, and this unit, like a Faraday flashlight, can be easily um, it could last a long time with just like the Faraday flashlight. The LEDs they install in the Faraday flashlights. So there's so many things that this could bring to us, and like ministries and other organizations, they could provide people with with um with some stuff to light up their cities and their communities. If there's places on earth where there's not a lot of water, then these engines or these things can bring up or absorb the water that's required, um, there's salt water that could always be channeled all the way inland. Nothing's impossible. And it could go in refineries, and even the salt could be harvested from that. And then if too much water is coming in, it could be used to, to water the land back to the ocean from wherever that refinery is, wherever they decide to position it on the map. So yeah, anyway, I didn't want to make this video long and extensive or whatever, or more confusing than how things probably are. But yeah, I just decided to show this once I seen that thing. There's different ways to build it. Oh my God. Jesus. Jesus. I mean, if you guys believe in God, this is the time to praise Him, people. There's a lot going on. And it's all happening so fast, you know. It's amazing. You guys are super smart out there. You know, especially people that do all this stuff. That's, oh my God. It's cool. But anyway, God bless everyone. Keep researching, keep building. Do whatever God tells you to do. And I'm out.